right here.
Both the president of the United States, those were quite the moments from both the president of the United States and the first lady, who just brought up the children of Iran. And the president saying that's who we're fighting for those families to be able to go forward, paraphrasing here, for a better future. But it was an interesting moment because, as you can see, all the cameras turned around. They're having an Easter celebration. This is Mound Day in Christian faith. So it's the day after Easter, and that Monday always. And you could see the Easter Bunny there and other people gathered. The First Lady wanted to put the focus on the children of Iran, and that's exactly what just happened. I want to bring in Congressman John James, Republican of Michigan, and importantly, member of the Energy and Commerce Committee. Good to see you. Let's start there. And a quote from the president moments ago. So we're getting a lot of access to him as journalists today, and that helps us so much in our reporting of what's coming up. So two options, he said, for Iran. You can take the good faith deal or face power plant and bridge day. And he said that if it were my choice, and he said the American people want to see us come home at this point, but if it were my choice, I'd take the oil, just like he did in Venezuela. Your reaction?
President Trump is a president of peace, but that's peace through strength. President Trump understands basic truths: life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and we are endowed by rights given to us by our Creator, and that extends to everyone. President Trump is standing up for the American people, standing up for our safety here and abroad, especially after Joe Biden left our open borders and we don't know who's here. President Trump is doing everything that he can to make sure that a regime that shouts death to America can no longer be in a position to exact those heinous plans on us. President Trump is using every means at his disposal to make sure that he keeps.
You know what's so crazy, though? They always say regime that chants death to America and never really explain the backstory behind that. I mean, like, let's be real. What are they supposed to think about America when we've interfered in their government, pretty much put proxies against them, helped Saddam gas them? I mean, what are they supposed to think about us? This is why they've always attacked us, and we've always attacked them as well. So when people sit there and say, "Oh, they say death to America," I'm just like, well, duh. Look what we've done to them over the past. And I don't like to hear it, but I get it. And I think you're being a little bit foolish if you don't get it yourself, or you're just being willfully ignorant.
Americans safe, and he's open to a deal. He's open to diplomacy. But again, you cannot negotiate with terrorists. I fought in Iraq. I fought against people who were trained by these Iranian militias. And I know they only understand warheads to the forehead. And President Trump understands that too.
Yeah, I know about your military service, and the country thanks you. You're serving again in a different capacity now in leadership. I want to ask you about the enemy for a second, because you do have that perspective.
And here's the thing, though. These people who say, well, we're not going to negotiate with terrorists. I mean, bro, we're negotiating with terrorists right now. Is like, if we weren't negotiating with terrorists, then we'd be putting boots on the ground in Iran just trying to take the whole thing. So we're negotiating with terrorists right now. So I don't even know. I really don't get when people say that, because I'm like, the only way this war is going to end peacefully and without, the whole Middle East being thrown into dysfunction is if we negotiate with terrorists. And if that's what you want, then, you saying we don't negotiate with terrorists don't really make too much sense. But hey, do you, bro? Do you?
As well. When you hear just...
Oh, guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video. Appreciate the support, by the way. But let's make sure we're smashing that like button and double tapping that screen.
Moments ago, I want to read this. And Trey Yinks reported this, but we have more detail on it now. Iranian state media reporting that Iran has rejected the ceasefire proposal, and Iran's response is demanding some inclusions on the list, an end to conflicts in the region. Well, they start so many of them with their proxies, they could make that dream come true themselves. A protocol for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz, reconstruction, and lifting all sanctions. So, if all of this is on the table and they're rejecting it, what?
Hey, shout out to my man Noah Joyner. He says, have you seen any of the memes about Japanese guys and American guys bonding over barbecue? I haven't, but I could see that, though. I mean, hey, man, Japanese, they do barbecue well, too. I don't think better than us, but not bad. Not bad.
Can you give them?
Well, just last week, they were refusing to talk, and now they're coming up with listed demands. I think that this is moving in the direction of people who want to use diplomacy now to bring this conflict to an end. Again, this started because Iran was using dollars that were sent by the Biden-Obama administration that were funneled to proxies like Hezbollah and the Houthis and Hamas. They use that money to terrorize our allies and to terrorize Americans. And they are right now shutting down the Strait of Hormuz because that's the only recourse that they have. Now, they are not even talking about nuclear weapons. That is off the table because President Trump understands exactly how to negotiate, and Iran understands that President Trump means
nuclear weapons was never on the table. This was all about their enrichment. Let's not forget. We want them to, well, yeah, apparently the goal is to stop them from enriching. We've moved the goalpost from they can't have a bomb to now they can't enrich.
business.
Yeah, and the president just mentioned that. I mean, this was the sort of news.
Not even at 3.6%, like in the JCPOA, no enrichment whatsoever. Oh, and they got to give up their ballistic missiles, and Lord knows that ain't happening.
Conference before the news conference later today, and we got so much information out of this just in terms of what he will do and plans to do. But those two tracks with diplomacy now, he said, this is the easy part. As you just said, we're not even discussing them not having a nuclear weapon in the future. But Iran, according to General Jack Keane, and this is an interesting point, Iran could then use the Strait of Hormuz if you give in now to hold the world hostage again and choke up those shipping lanes.
Iran has given us no reason to trust them, not at all, not for the past 47 years. The Iranian regime is captured by religious zealots who do not care about their people. President Trump just recently mentioned 45,000 freedom fighters, 45,000 of their own citizens murdered for.
You know, so crazy. Like I said, they don't got 33, bro. They don't got 30,000 names. You know, for some people say, well, why do they got to give you names? Well, because that's the way I'm going to believe it. Like with Gaza, the Gaza Health Ministry, they had names. The 53,000 Christians that died and that's been getting murdered in Nigeria for the last, 9 to 14 years. There's names. But you know what there's not names of? All 30,000 to 40,000 to 100,000 of Iranian protesters. And I mean, real with you, to get to 30,000, I mean, what were they doing? Bombing them? Like, come on now, guys. And I'm not saying I believe the 3,100 that, I mean, they put out. I think is more like 6,000 possibly. But 30,000? Nah. Sorry, guys.
Speaking up for freedom. And these are people.
Let's go what we can verify. Let's just go what we can verify, guys.
Who have relied on Western European appeasement that, frankly, Americans are sick of. We are sick of continuing to being threatened on our homeland. And after 4 years of open borders under Joe Biden, we can no longer take these risks. That's why I voted multiple times to fully fund DHS, and we'll continue to stand by that. President Trump is doing what he can to satisfy his #1 goal, keeping Americans safe. And that includes making Americans strong. And we are well on that path.
Congressman James, talk to me a bit, because you had mentioned Iraq and your service in the Middle East previously. This is so different from that. We are not changing hearts and minds. This is not Afghanistan. There's a huge population, Iranian Americans in California. We've seen some of them in the streets celebrating at the.
Who cares? Who cares what the Iranian Americans think? They're not going to go over there and fight for that country. They're not going to go over there and fight for the freedom of Iran. So let's stop bringing these guys up. Let's just bring up the people inside of Iran that you guys think that's going to overthrow the government while you're bombing them. And then we're thinking about taking out the electricity in their water. I mean, shoot, you're telling me they're going to go ahead and fight the regime thirsty as hell? Like, please tell me how that works. They're going to fight the regime dehydrated? Oh my God. That's such a great plan, guys. Like, what is going on here?
The very beginning of this conflict that's only 5 weeks in at this point. But it's interesting. That's not what's happening. And when you heard the First Lady moments ago live on at the White House.
That's funny. I go lie. What was it? Mexis? That was funny. I'll give you that one. He said, I would assume over 47 years, 31K killed. No, they were talking about within those 2 days during the protests. 31K killed is what they're saying. But if you said over 47 years, I'd be like, you know what, bro, I'm gonna have to give that to you. I'd probably have to give that to you.
bring up the children of Iran and watching out and protecting them and their future. The president then hat tipping and going on furthering say that's, those families are who we're fighting for. What's your reaction to that?
I think it's absolutely unconscionable. The left and the fake news media who've been rooting against President Trump and American success in Iran while they go out in the streets and chant "No kings" on their free time when they're being paid by God knows who.
Bro, no kings. I'm gonna be real with you though. It's kind of funny because we're kind of wanting a king to be in power in, Iran, the Shah, aka the king, their monarch that they overthrown. We're kind of wanting to put that guy back in charge. So it is a bit funny how the Dems are over there talking about, oh, no kings, and we're over here trying to put a king in Iran. Hilarious.
America is standing up for the rights and freedom of oppressed people. When you have pampered people on the left who don't know the price of freedom, President Trump is standing up for all, and even President's wife, First Lady Melania Trump, who has not gotten the credit that she deserves. She's doing everything she can to raise the specter of what America stands for. As an immigrant herself, she was raised to believe that this was a beacon of hope for everybody around the world. America today is a beacon of hope for the Persians in Iran who yearn to breathe free. And frankly, I'm disappointed our European allies who, frankly, are not allowing us overflight, not allowing us basing, but still expect carte blanche for their own defense of their freedom. We have an obligation to America first, but not America alone. And this includes making sure that Iran can never hurt us or hurt our allies. And that includes the innocent people of Iran and the Persian people who deserve to be free.
Yeah, and you know that
Lord, they're still selling that as if Trump is not just talking about trying to cut off their electricity and their water. It's like, it's so funny how this guy can say that with a smile on his face, knowing damn well our president just said that we're about to put him in a blackout and with no water. Yeah, bro. Okay. I mean, yeah, y'all can keep selling it, but trust me, nobody's buying it. All right, let's see what ABC News got to say.
Trump is taking breaking news to get to. President Trump is taking questions on the war with Iran at the White House. Let's listen in.
Down and not mortally, the two pilots got out. They got a little bit lucky. And you know what? In war, you need a little bit of luck also. They got a little bit lucky. That's all they got.
Ending the war. What's stopping you from ending the war?
Well, it could end very quickly, the war. They do what they have to do. They have to do certain things. They know that. They've been negotiating, I think, in good faith. We've had total regime change. The people there now are much more reasonable than the lunatics that you had in phase one and phase two. They were lunatics. The people that we're negotiating with now on behalf of Iran are much more reasonable. You can call it what you want, but I call it regime change, and I think most people are giving us credit for that. The first regime was taken out. The second regime was taken out. Now the third group of people that we're dealing with is not as radicalized, and we think they're actually much smarter.
Why did you use such vulgar language in that Truth Social post?
Only to make my point. I think you've heard it before.
Mr. President, have you spoken to the families of the airmen that were saved? Have you spoken to the families of the airmen that were saved?
I'm going to be doing it right now.
Mr. President, what do you say to Americans who are not a fan of the war?
They're foolish because the war is about one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
I mean, like I said, if that's the case, then you should just put them under the JCPOA again or a stricter version of it. That's all you pretty much had to do. You didn't have to go into war over that. But okay.
Had we not broken the Barack Hussein Obama agreement, you know what I'm talking about, the Iran nuclear deal. This is years ago, my first term. You would have had a total. Israel would have been gone, extinguished. Israel would have been wiped off the face of the earth, and the entire Middle East would have been, at a minimum, in big trouble. But I did it. That was phase one. We killed Soleimani. Without Soleimani, if they had Soleimani, it would be a whole.
I mean, here's the thing, though. When we hopped up out of that deal in 2018, put the IRGC as a terrorist group, kills Salsum Soleimani, yeah, that's when they went to that 60% enrichment. So if this was all about, making sure we contained that, yeah, they were staying below that 3.6% under the JCPOA. So like I said, if this was about their nuclear capabilities, then we nipped that in the butt under Obama. And if you'd have just left that alone, we'd have been good. And if they'd have been breaking it under the JCPOA while we were still giving them sanction relief, then we could sit here and complain. But that's not the case.
Different thing, maybe would still be winning, but it would have been harder because we are obliterating that country. And I hate to do it, but we're obliterating, and they just don't want to say uncle. They don't want to cry, as the expression goes, uncle, but they will. And if they don't, they'll have no bridges, they'll have no power plants, they'll have no anything. I won't go further because there are other things that are worse than those two. And we might have, well, the thing, if I had my choice, what would I like to do? Take the oil. Because it's there for the taking. There's not a thing they can do about it. Unfortunately, the American people would like to see us come home. If it were up to me, I'd take the oil, I'd keep the oil, and would make plenty of money. And I'd also take care of the people of Iran much better than
I swear to God, bro, this man's just out here trying to snatch everybody's oil. Like, nobody's oil is safe when Trump's out here, bro. I'm telling you. It's like, if you catch a lack and your oil's gone.
They've been taken care of. It's been horrible. They've killed 45,000 people as of a month and a half ago. 45,000 protesters. We don't do that. So if I had my choice, I'd keep the oil. But I also want to make the people of our country happy. I think most people wouldn't understand that. I'll give you an example. Venezuela has worked out so incredibly. We have 100 million.
Oh, guys, make sure to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Appreciate the support. Make sure we are double tapping that screen.
Million barrels of oil right now in Houston being refined. It's been great. The relationship with Venezuela, the leaders, has been fantastic. And I think we're going to have a long-term, very good relationship. And it might be beyond long-term. You understand what I mean? Well, I tell you what, I'm pretty good at this stuff, and I go around and I check. They'd like to see us win and come home. And I appreciate CNN for the first time maybe in my life. They did a poll, and everyone's saying, oh, is Trump losing MAGA? No, I'm not losing MAGA. MAGA loves what I'm doing. And CNN did a poll of MAGA voters, a big poll, very important poll, Harry. And he went on, he said, this is amazing, 100% support. He said, I've never had a 100% poll at anything before. And do you support Trump, MAGA people, which is, by the way, mostly Republican. If you look,
it's so crazy that he literally believes that. You think 100% of MAGA supports that?
The cap.
Like, come on, bro. You should have been able to see through that, through the fact that, bro, you got Tucker Carlson walking in pretty much saying, yo, I don't agree with this. Like Megyn Kelly, other MAGA influencers as well, telling you that they're not agreeing with this, and their fans are also saying the same thing. So to sit there and say that 100% of MAGA agrees, I mean, bro, who the hell are y'all asking? Y'all need to start sending everybody out a survey if that's the case, or at least let us know when the survey drops, because y'all out here running secret surveys behind our backs.
I would say MAGA makes up a majority, like about 95% of the Republican Party, all right? So they went out, they did a poll, and CNN came back 100% support. So they support what we're doing, but they would like to see it end and come back. But remember, wars last years. We're in there for 34 days, and we've obliterated a very powerful country in 34 days. Yeah, if it were up to me, I'd like to keep the oil. I just don't think the people of the United States would really understand.
How is it taking care of the Iranian people if you're bombing?
Yeah, who you with? Who you with?
Yes.
Well, that's a radical left group of lunatics that you're with. Let me just tell you, very fair question. The Iranian people, when they don't hear bombs go off, they're upset. They want to hear bombs because they want to be free. And
yo, that is a crazy that he keeps saying this. The Iranian people want to hear bombs because what? The sounds of buildings blowing up, their people being blown to bits and crying in the street. Oh, yes, that means freedom. Wow, guys. I mean, I really hope people don't come over here and tell me this one. Like, say you don't understand when we stop bombing them and stop destroying their infrastructure and killing their people, they get mad at us. No, they actually want us to destroy Iran. They actually want us to destroy their energy infrastructure. Why? Because the regime might go out of power. I'm like, oh my God, you fool. I really do hope like like a lot of people in MAGA are low key going like, nah, this is BS. Come on, bro. You can't sit there and say that.
The only reason they're not
But
out
some will believe
protesting,
it.
you know that, is because they were informed that if they
Say I'm an
protest,
American for
like the
now.
wrestler and his friends, if they protest, they will be shot immediately. And that's an edict, that's in writing. If they protest, if they go out in the streets, they will be immediately shot. They don't have guns. You know, we sent some guns, but the group that was supposed to give, which I said would happen to my people, I said it, I called it exactly. We sent guns, a lot of guns. They were supposed to go to the people so they could fight back against these thugs. You know what happened? The people that they sent them to kept them because they said, what a beautiful gun, I think I'll keep it. So I'm very upset with a certain group of people, and they're going to pay a big price for that. But the Iranian people will fight back as soon as they know they're not going to be shot and as soon as they can get weapons. If they had weapons, not many of them, if they had weapons that would go the other way, and you know what would happen? Iran would give up in 2 seconds because they wouldn't be able to take it. But in Iran, they have absolutely no weaponry, and they've been told point blank, if you come out to the streets, you will be killed. As of this morning, and we have this on pretty good information, 45,000 protesters have been killed. Pretty bad.
By good information, please. What information do you got? Because like there is no information been released confirming that there's been 45,000 protesters killed. Like what information, bro? There's been no new updates, no nothing, no names have been released, none. But of course, there's gonna be people at MAGA that says, "Oh, well, you know, Trump says he has pretty good information." All right, great. Well, I mean, where's it at? Where it at, though? All right.
Mr. President, you said Iran has been obliterated. Why are we still at war then?
It's a big country. They can't fight back. They have no capability. I mean, they have some missiles left. They have some drones left, but essentially they have no capability. They had a lucky shot with an airplane, but we got them back out. The rescue was incredible. And it wasn't of one person, it was of two person. There are those that say that's never happened before, because usually when you're shot down in strong enemy and deep enemy territory, you can't go after them because you'll end up losing 250 people to get one. So it's a terrible thing. But we had to make a decision. Do we do it or do we not? And we did. And, you know, we have some helicopters with a lot of bullet holes in them right now. Probably you know that. Now, I'm very honored to have rebuilt our military. We rebuilt our military in my first term. I'm using it in our second term. And we are the most respected country anywhere in the world with the greatest military anywhere in the world. Thank you. So we have a news conference. You'll all be there, so you can ask the question in a little while. We have a news conference in a little while. What would you like to ask her?
What she wants to say, Madam First Lady, can you tell us your message to the children you find?
Well, all of this is happening for their future, so they will be safe in years to come.
We're fighting for the children that are now in a war zone. We're keeping them as safe as we can possibly keep them. But we're fighting for their parents, their grandparents. We're fighting for them. We're fighting for their future. And I will tell you, it was given to me loud and clear. The time the Iranian people are the most unhappy when you hear bombs all over is when those bombs stop. That's the problem. It's, when they stop, because that means that are they coming back? We want to have them back. And
oh man, I can't wait to hear MAGA literally tell us that, bro, that oh, you know, the Iranian people want to hear bombs drop on their cities. Oh no, this is what they want to hear said. You don't understand. Yeah. I can't wait, bro. I'm about to go on Twitter right now and just watch them try to sell it to me, bro. I can't wait.
you know, everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. So hopefully it could be over with quickly. Again, there are lots of different alternatives. We have many alternatives. We could leave right now, and it would take them 15 years to rebuild what they have. We could leave right now. But I want to finish it up. Iran, ready, cannot have a nuclear weapon. They are lunatics, and you can't put nuclear weapons in the hands of a lunatic. Thank you.
There you have it, President Trump taking questions on the war with Iran. The president says Iran has made.
But all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it on this one here. I'm probably gonna see if I come back later on tonight. Come back on later on tonight. Yep, come back later on tonight. I got you guys later on with a live, probably 1, 2 in the morning into